But I'd like to start out, if I could, today talking about phonies. Phonies, in other words, fakes. I hope I don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but there are some things that I've been hearing about and seeing in other ways. Just hearing about and witnessing on my own, just crazy things. Uh, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard that people are using my own songs on their videos and trying to imply that it's them. And I don't want to bring a lot of attention to these people, but one of them is has the initials BJ. I personally don't know for sure that it's true. You know, I haven't checked it out myself. I don't waste a lot of time on stuff like this personally, and it's not like something that I would personally want to get on and bother with, you know. But nevertheless, if it be true, then you know it's just one more example of this person who wants to be me for some crazy reason. Now I've heard of Elvis impersonators, and you know people wanting to impersonate Elvis, but as far as as far as people wanting to impersonate John Cotner, I have no idea. I reckon I know what they would get out of it to some extent, but you know, overall, I have no idea why anybody would want to do anything like that. But it seems clear that there are these John Cotner impersonators out there, and I don't mean tribute artists or people doing tributes or whatever, because that's not what's happening. I'm talking about impersonators. In other words, people who are literally trying to be me for their own personal gain and to make fun of people and make fun of our people and our friends, and you know they get a kick out of this type of thing, and you know. But anyway, this person who has the initials of BJ, they don't sound a thing like me talking. I mean, ever since their own people who were promoting them at one time, saying that they were me, you know, for a long time they were trying to imply that person was me. And then when they finally started to hear their speaking voice and realized it wasn't anything like mine, wasn't even close, you know, and they started listening to a lot of their other music and realizing that most of their music wasn't even close to the sound of my voice, you know, or Elvis's, either one, you know, then it basically hit them, I reckon, from their own people, you know, from their own side. They started to say crazy stuff. They started to say stuff like, well, you know, they took him up into the mountains, whoever they are. They took this guy up into the mountains, and he lost his voice in the mountains because of the mountain air, you know. They said the mountain air cost him his speaking voice and his pronunciation and tone and everything, you know. It was mountain air that did it. I've heard some whoppers in my life, but that has probably got to be one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. The mountain air, you know. I can understand if they said anything else, but the mountain air, that's got to take the cake for one of the silliest things I have ever heard, for one of the stupidest things I have ever heard. I mean, I've heard some stupid, crazy stuff, but the mountain air, you know, the mountain air did it. And then, of course, he started seeing him up close and realizing that we don't look very much alike up close, and that it's only at the distance, you know, that there's a slight illusion, and I think it's on purpose. I think they're doing it on purpose. There's a slight illusion at a distance that we look anything alike, and only an illusion on a few different songs that we sound anything alike. You know, I'm not putting him down. I mean, he's all right as a singer. I don't mean to put him down. I'm just meaning to point out that we don't sound anything alike. We don't look anything alike. You know, and it's just as they've tried over the years to put this myth off. I mean, I've been about, I don't know, 50 or 60 different people. According to these people, I've been about 50 or 60 different people. Different and distinct people that you can point at and look right at them and say that they definitely exist. We know who that is. And they've tried to say that I was all 50 or 60 different people at one time or another, And that kind of stuff is just crazy. It's just a bunch of nonsense. You'd think they would have lost their credibility with everyone at that point in time when they made such silly notions as I was 50 or 60 different people, But apparently they still have some kind of crowd who will listen to them out there, so, I can't worry about it. But I'm just making the point that when people start saying that this person or that person lost their speaking voice because of mountain air, I mean, that's when you got to accept that either they're fully crazy, as in nut house insane, or they have got to be joking, because that's one of the stupidest things anybody could ever say, period, about anybody. I mean, I know it. I've been in the mountains plenty of times, and I have never lost my speaking voice or my singing voice by being in a mountain air. Never, In fact, I would say sometimes it might improve it, You don't deal with as many allergies, at least I don't. Up in the mountain air, I have different kind of allergies, I reckon. But I'm up in the mountains quite a bit, and I feel better up there. Whenever I'm in the mountains, I feel good. I feel good when I'm at the beach. I feel good at the beach. I feel good at the mountains. Either one, But I reckon I'd have to say that as far as the air goes, I'd say that probably the mountains would be the best spot, to be. But anyways, bottom line is I've never heard something so silly. But saying that this person lost their speaking voice because of the mountain air is about as crazy as saying, well, the reason they don't look like John up close is because of the mountain air. They used to look like me up close, until the mountain air got to them. That's about the same thing we're dealing with. But they used to say this person was me, they flat out say he's not me. They say he's Elvis Presley, in other words. And let me tell you something. If you ever listen to anybody in your life, it's time to listen to me. I guarantee you, he's not Elvis Presley. You just take my word for it. If you ever took anybody's word for anything, take my word for it that he's not Elvis Presley. I guarantee it. I don't guarantee many things, but I guarantee this. He's not Elvis Presley, and you can take that to the bank. He's just another of the frauds and fakes out there claiming to be Elvis Presley. And making a mockery of the fans who believe it, It'd be different if he looked like him and sounded like him all the way, all the time. That'd be a different thing. But sounding a little bit like him once in a while, don't get it, Looking nothing like him except at a distance, don't get it. Elvis always looked like himself. He would change a little bit with age. We all do. But I'm making a point that Elvis looks like himself, or would look like himself. But anyways, if not, I reckon it's the mountain air getting to him.